So, a new software proposal lands on your desk. It's really easy to just flip to the last page and get totally fixated on the price tag. But honestly, that number is often the least important part of the whole story. Today, we're going to tear these proposals apart to find the hidden risks and, more importantly, the opportunities that really decide if a project is going to succeed or fail. Let's dive in.
First things first, let's just be real about the stakes here. The industry data is, well, it's pretty sobering. Almost 70% of IT projects fail to deliver what they promised. That is a staggering amount of wasted time, wasted money, and lost opportunity. This whole thing isn't just about launching some new app. It's about making sure you don't become another one of those statistics.
And this quote, it just nails why we're here. A flawed proposal isn't just a bad start. It's literally the genetic code for failure. Any little mistake you accept right here, right now, is going to multiply and get worse all the way through the project. The decisions you make at this stage will echo for years, either launching your business forward or just burying it in technical debt.
So that brings us to our first big idea. You have to look at this proposal not as just a simple purchase, but as a high-stakes gamble. It is all about managing risk.
Here's the key mindset shift. You're not just buying code. You're choosing a partner who's going to build a really core part of your future business. Are they a top-tier partner or are they a high-risk vendor? The proposal has all the clues, so let's start digging.
Next up, let's decode the technical plan. You'll notice proposals love to talk about what the software will do, but a smart buyer like you is going to focus on how it's actually going to be built. Because believe me, when it comes to long-term success, the architecture is everything.
Okay, check this out. This is a huge one. The architectural choice. If you see monolithic architecture where everything is just one big tangled mess of code, that's an immediate red flag for any complex project. Sure, it might seem cheap to start, but it is an absolute nightmare to scale and maintain. On the other hand, you've got modern microservices. Think of them like Lego blocks. They're independent, they're resilient, and you only need to scale up the specific pieces you need. This choice right here can literally save you millions down the road.
And here's another trap I see all the time. Using these low-code or no-code platforms for your core intellectual property. You know, the special sauce that gives you your competitive edge. It feels fast, sure, but you're just renting the functionality. You don't own the code, you can't really optimize it, and if that platform jacks up its prices, or worse, goes out of business, your entire application is stranded. For your core business, you need to own the asset, period.
All right, so it's not just about the architecture. We also have to look at how they work, and this brings us to a really critical concept. The process is the product. How your partner builds is just as important as what they build, because it determines your ability to pivot and adapt in a market that's always changing. So many vendors love to throw around the buzzword agile, but are they? You have to ask yourself, are they really agile, or are they just dressing up an old, rigid waterfall process? Waterfall assumes you know everything on day one, which, as we all know, is just never, ever the case. And look, the numbers don't lie. This data from the famous Chaos report is just undeniable. Agile projects are nearly 4 times more successful than waterfall projects. And why is that? It's because Agile is built for the real world. It expects change. It's all about continuous feedback, and it delivers real value in small, frequent chunks. So, how do you spot fake Agile? Just look for these red flags. If they want to spend months and months defining every little detail up front, that's a bad sign. If they don't have scheduled demos, red flag. If they never mention automated testing and deployment pipelines, they're probably running a rigid, outdated process. Real Agile is all about speed, quality, and adaptation. Okay, let's talk about the part everyone flips to first, the money and the legal stuff. But as you're about to see, when it comes to the commercial and legal terms, the most obvious choice is almost never the right one. A fixed-price contract seems like the safe bet, right? Wrong. In reality, the vendor just bakes a huge 20 to 30% risk premium right into the price, which you pay whether things go wrong or not. Plus, any tiny change requires a slow, expensive change order. Time and materials, where you just pay for the actual hours worked, is so much more flexible and it's often cheaper, since it gets rid of that risk premium and makes sure the vendor is focused on the same thing you are, delivering value efficiently. So what's the sweet spot? Well, the best of both worlds is the capped time and materials model. You get all the flexibility of T&M, so the project can adapt to reality, but you also get a firm budget ceiling that they can't go over without your explicit approval. This keeps everyone aligned and protects the budget.
Now for what might be the single most important legal clause in the entire document: who owns the code? If the contract says they grant you a license, you're just renting. You don't own it. What you want is an assignment. Look for that exact word. It means the code is your asset, which is, after all, exactly what you're paying for.
All right, we've deconstructed the proposal. We've pulled it apart. Now let's put all these pieces back together to make a clear, confident, and defensible decision.
The best way to take emotion and bias out of the equation is to use a weighted decision matrix, just like this. You define what's most important to your business. Maybe it's technical skill, or maybe it's cost, and then you score each proposal against those specific criteria. This turns a gut feeling into a real data-driven choice.
And the process is actually pretty simple. 1, build your matrix. 2, score the proposals you have. And 3, this is the most important part, talk to the people who will actually be building the software, not just the sales team.
And when you get them in the room, ask the tough questions. You're not really looking for perfect answers. You're testing for honesty, foresight, and for how they handle a crisis. A question like, can I speak to a client who left you? Well, that's the ultimate reference check, isn't it?
In the end, it really all comes down to this. The true cost of software isn't that number on the proposal. It's the total cost of owning it over its entire lifetime. Investing in quality partners, modern architecture, and agile processes right from the start is the only way to avoid those catastrophic costs down the line.
So the next time a proposal hits your desk, you're going to be ready. The choice is yours. Is this document a hidden sinkhole of technical debt, or is it the blueprint that's going to launch you to market dominance? Now you have the tools to actually know the difference.